This is for entertainment purposes only.
Stop! You're not gonna want to miss this. Y'all remember around 2014, 2016 when the Russians made robots that clap pistols?
Meanwhile, in Russia,
Y'all see it?
this was back
Robots
in
that clap
2014
pistols,
to
you guys.
2016. Imagine
Hooray!
Russian specialist Fyodor. Final experimental demonstration object research is designed for
and
extreme
accurate,
situations and space exploration. The robot can operate autonomously or be controlled by an operator using a specialized control suit. The robot is intended to perform two main tasks. Rescue people.
Thanks for tuning into another episode of Quik Reaction TV, the coolest vibe on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and rock the bell for new releases. Join the Quik crew, it's free and helps the channel grow. I've got a weird selection today. Let's get to it.
This
Quik.
guy, his name's George, and George has a big problem. The SWAT team has got him surrounded, and it doesn't look like he's giving up anytime soon. So this all started because George has a 27-year-old son who we'll call Trip, and George and Trip are really close. But one day, everything changes, because even though Trip is only 27 years old, he has a massive stroke. So they rush him to the hospital, and while he's there, doctors do everything they can to save him. But unfortunately, he ends up in a coma, and now he's on life support. So George is there with Trip's mom, who we'll call Mom, and Trip's brother, who we'll call Brother, and they're all in Trip's hospital waiting room waiting for an update. But see, this is not their first time in a situation like this with Trip, because he's had seizures and stuff like that in the past, and even when it feels like he's not going to make it, Trip always pulls through. Regardless, this time the doctors come in and they got some bad news. They tell Trip's family they've done everything they can, but unfortunately, Trip is brain dead. And they basically tell the family it's probably time to take him off life support. And the family is just torn up by this news. And Mom, with tears in her eyes, she agrees. But George is like, wait a minute, no way. Why are we being rushed into this? But Brother and Mom disagree. There is nothing that can be done. And they give the hospital permission to start taking him off life support. And George, here's the thing about George. George has been drinking, like, a lot. So he's a little more emotional than usual. And doctors assure him that Trip has no brain activity. And George is like, no, we've gone through similar things like this before. He's had seizures and stuff in the past, but he's always pulled through. Just freaking listen to me. And this escalates, and it escalates, and soon George is yelling at the doctors, he's yelling at the nurses. He says that if they'll just give him a few more hours, he'll be able to process all this and decide if it's really time to pull the plug or not. But no matter what he does, no one is listening to him. The hospital is moving forward, and there's nothing George can do. Until, suddenly, out of nowhere, George pulls out a pew-pew, and he points it at the doctors, and he tells them to back away from his son. And naturally, everyone starts freaking out. Like, whoa, whoa, calm down, buddy. And one of the nurses calls 911.
Hey, we need the police stat to the hospital. We have a family member with a gun.
So George is there, drunk, waving his pew-pew around, threatening to unalive the staff, but then, out of nowhere, boom! Brother jumps on him, and they wrestle, and he manages to take the pew-pew out of his hand. But George is far from done. He looks at the whole room, and he's like, you think that's the only weapon I got? So everyone is like, okay, I don't get paid enough for this, and they all leave the room. And George immediately shuts the curtain around Trip's bed so no one can see what's going on. Then, because the nurse called 911, the SWAT team shows up, and they put the entire hospital in total lockdown. And they don't want this to get ugly, so they're basically like, George, please surrender. And George is like, nah.
My nigga.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life, forever. If you ask plenty musicians, them know it, but them can't do it.
Did you stop fighting?
No, but I was at home with my people, so I didn't need to be fighting no more.
Bob Marley, a renowned Jamaican singer, musician, and songwriter, achieved iconic status as one of the pioneers of reggae music. His catalog includes timeless hits such as Could You Be Loved, Is This Love, and One Love. Marley not only left an indelible mark on the music industry, but also became a symbol of Rastafari, infusing his work with a profound sense of spirituality. Tragically, Bob Marley's life and prolific career were abruptly cut short when he succumbed to cancer at the age of 36. The news of his untimely death left music lovers worldwide in mourning as they grappled with the loss of the Jamaican icon. Despite the widely known cause of Marley's death, some fans have been drawn into conspiracy theories surrounding the circumstances of his passing. One notable instance involved rapper T.I. taking to Instagram in 2018 to share a news article that claimed ex-CIA agent Bill Oxley made revelations on his deathbed. According to the now-debunked article, Oxley purportedly acted as a New York Times photographer to gain proximity to Marley at his Blue Mountains retreat in Jamaica. Bill Oxley, an individual alleged to have been associated with the CIA for 29 years, purportedly made shocking claims about his involvement in various assassinations, including the alleged murder of Bob Marley. According to the conspiracy theory circulating online, Oxley asserted that he carried out 17 assassinations on behalf of the American government between 1974 and 1985, a period during which he claimed the CIA operated with significant autonomy. In the widely shared interview, Oxley revealed that he functioned as a hitman, targeting individuals deemed to pose a threat to the interests of the United States. Despite the gravity of his actions, he asserted that he considered himself a patriot and did not question the motivations of the CIA, believing that sacrifices were sometimes necessary for the greater good. The conspiracy narrative details a specific account of the alleged Bob Marley assassination. According to this version, Oxley, using fabricated press credentials, gained access to Marley at his Blue Mountain retreat. Posing as a renowned photographer affiliated with the New York Times, Oxley reportedly presented Marley with a gift, a pair of Converse All-Stars in size 10. The right shoe, as the story goes, was rigged with a nail tainted with cancer viruses and bacteria. When Marley tried on the shoe and exclaimed in pain, the conspiracy theory suggests that it marked the tragic end of his life.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Stop, you're not gonna want to miss this. Y'all remember around 2014, 2016 when the Russians made robots that clap pistols?
Meanwhile, in Russia,
y'all see it?
This was back
Robots
in
that clap
2014
pistols,
to
you guys.
2016.
Hooray!
Russian specialist Fyodor, final experimental demonstration object research is designed for extreme situations and space exploration. The robot can operate autonomously or be controlled by an operator using a specialized control suit. The robot is intended to perform two main tasks: rescue people in extreme conditions, such as from collapsed buildings, and undertake space missions. Recently, it was revealed that Fyodor faced sanctions after it was discovered that the robot can not only shoot, but also shoot with both hands. Upon learning this, foreign companies ceased supplying components including gears, sensors, engines, cameras, and computers. Nevertheless, Fyodor continues to evolve, with the robot's developers transitioning to domestic alternatives. Work on the robot began in 2014, and it was first presented to the public in 2016. According to its specifications, the robot can already use a key to open doors, operate a fire extinguisher, and use a...
They still working on these war robots and didn't learn nothing from Terminator. Did we not know it only take one code or one virus, and now we not fighting each other? We clapping at robots. Yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the Russians making pistol clapping robots in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom. Stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if you want that exclusive content, and if y'all trying to do any business, hit that email.
What?
The fuck? Stop, you're gonna want to hear this.
Simeon Toko was a black African man born in 1918, and he had superhuman abilities similar to Jesus Christ. He was healing people, and he even summoned cherubim and seraphim angels to help defeat the Belgian army. As crazy as this may sound, this is a true story. We'll get into the other unbelievable superhuman things he did in a bit. The elite powers do not want the world knowing about this man because he was the first of many more Messiah-like figures to emerge. In the 1960s, Simeon Toko said more people like him would come and that the elites wouldn't be able to stop us. It is believed Simeon Toko was the first of the 144,000 described.
Come on now.
He was healing people and performing supernatural miracles. Some of the superhuman qualities Simeon Toko had was regenerating after attempts on his life, even if he was completely eradicated. One time doctors heard of the rumors of his mystical abilities of being immortal, and they removed his heart surgically to see if it was true. He woke up from the operating table saying, "Why are you persecuting me like this? Give me my heart back." Leaving the doctors completely shocked. Simeon Toko was reaching people with his message, and the cabal attempted to silence him for lack of better words. Once they found out he had Jesus-like abilities, but no attempts on his life succeeded, and he just kept coming.
Like you said, the first of the 144,000, or as we would call it, the chosen ones, the people who waking up right now. Let me know what y'all think about Simeon Toko, who came back with Jesus-like powers, in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if y'all want that exclusive content. And by the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh my God! A single person is living in what we call a superposition of potentials. These superposition of potentials in quantum physics mean that any reality that could happen can happen. But according to the ancient Sumerian tablets, you have the ordainers of destiny who are able to analyze all the different probabilities and then pick a specific one that they wanted to align with their reality tunnel. And what they would do is they would use vocalization, speaking into existence, conscious thought backed by it, to create the reality that they wanted, and then they would put action behind those thoughts and those vocalizations. And so today you would say, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, if you're trying to obtain something like, a new house, a new car, a new job, a new relationship, whatever it is, you have to speak it into existence, put conscious thought behind it, and then take action behind those thoughts to bring it into your reality tunnel, and focusing, it's like focusing a beam and bringing it into your reality. No matter what it is, whatever you want to be good at, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to accomplish, you speak it into existence, and you speak with confidence and power. And never, ever, ever speak bad about yourself.
Well, no fucking shit.
Himself even leaves Africa, takes Olmecs with him, and leaves his brother Amun-Ra in charge, and he goes to Mesoamerica and builds the Teotihuacan civilization, and builds that whole Teotihuacan pyramid complex, which, by the way, is aligned with Orion, the same exact formation as the ones in Africa, at Egypt, right, at Giza. And also what? Built on top of an aquifer. The base of the Pyramid of the Sun is exactly the same size as the base of the pyramid, Great Pyramid at Giza. And this is, again, what? One master architect, again, showcasing his talents and going all around the world. He's obviously all throughout Africa. He's known as Tehuti, Jehuti, Thoth, right? According to the ancient Egyptians, he ruled for 16,000 years, one person. These structures, they were built by people, not aliens. In other words, they had the people doing the labor. They taught the construction techniques, and they had the blueprints on how to do this. They weren't going to get out there themselves and do all this hard labor, but they had the blueprints. They laid out the foundation, and they said, hey, this is how we do this, and we're going to do this all around the entire planet.
Somebody dead. That's cap. That's cap. That's cap. That's cap. That's cap.
To decipher this verse here, James chapter 2. You have respect him that weareth the gay clothing. Would you agree that word has changed meanings in the last 30 years or so? And you probably shouldn't say that to somebody today. Wow, you have gay clothing on today. That would not be a good thing to say if you want to keep your teeth, right? Okay. Paul said, I would have come to you, but I was let hitherto. You know, the word let used to mean hindered. Now it means allowed. English words change meanings. You see, God promised to preserve His word. He did not promise to preserve our English language. So, okay. In Ezekiel 28, it tells when Lucifer fell from heaven. It says, thus saith the Lord, thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou, Lucifer, hast been in Eden. It talks about him here, all those precious stones and everything. It says, in the day that thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. He said, verse 15, thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created till iniquity was found in thee. We can learn several things about Lucifer in this passage. Number one, he was created. It says so twice. He's not eternal like God is. He was created. Okay? Secondly, he was in Eden. And thirdly, he was in Eden until he sinned. Well, the Garden of Eden wasn't made till day 6. So you can't say Lucifer fell from heaven between verse 1 and verse 2 because the Garden of Eden hadn't been made yet. Lucifer was in Eden as a nice guy probably for quite a while. Ezekiel tells us that Satan got proud. He was lifted up. He said, I'm a god. He was lifted up because of his wisdom, because of his riches, because of his beauty, because of his power. The 4 things that still corrupt people today, okay? Wisdom, riches, beauty, and power, okay? His heart was lifted up. But in Job chapter 38, it tells us before this happened, he was one of the sons of God, because angels sons of God in the Old Testament, 5 times it's mentioned. It always refers to angels. He said, where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? And all the sons of God, the angels, shouted for joy. Apparently, everybody was excited when God laid the foundations of the earth. Lucifer would have been in this group, and he's excited, wow, God's going to do something on this planet. But when was that? Well, it says when he laid the foundations of the earth. Not when he created the earth, when he laid the foundations. I believe that was day 3, when he made the dry land appear. It was first created, it was a ball of water without form and void, and then he made the dry land appear on day 3, which means angels must have been made on day 1 or day 2. The Bible doesn't tell us, but it had to be one of those 2 days, because everything was created in 6 days. And Lucifer was created. At the end of day 6, God looked at everything and said it was very good. It would not be very good if the devil was running around as a bad guy. Everything was very good.
It's facts! It's not facts, these facts are not facts.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, and comment on today's video. Join the Quik crew, and share this with your friends and family. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Quik!
Bye.